Hello, my name is Kevin Kincaid. Welcome to my humble little YouTube channel, Boxing and Beyond from BFE. There's a big fight this weekend. We've got, Keith one-time Thurman's going to be facing living legend Manny Pacquiao. And I sat down and I was, okay, what's going to happen in this fight? Who's going to win it? What's my prediction on it? And I was working on it yesterday, and of course, many of you have probably already heard the news that Pernell Whitaker was hit and killed in Virginia just a couple of days ago. I think it was Virginia, and that has honestly just totally thrown me for a loop. I mean, Whitaker, I guess, from my generation, was like at least I can't speak for anybody but me. And I was a huge fan of Pernell Whitaker. I mean, the man was artistry in the ring. I mean, just about as close to perfect as you're going to get. Now, not everybody was a big fan of his because he didn't really have a lot of power. Truthfully, he probably couldn't bust a grape in a food fight. But if he was in there with you, he would find you, and you couldn't find him. He was boxing. I mean, he was the art of hitting without getting hit. And by the time the fight was over, you'd leave the ring feeling like you'd had your ass handed to you by a ghost. And it was just, to me, it was just a wonder to watch him work. And it's just he was only 53, I think, and that's young. I mean, that's just a few years older than I am, and it's all relative. Of course, younger fans, that didn't get to watch him fight. I would advise anybody to go back and look at his fights. Look at his when he was 11-0, I think. He went up against the #1 lightweight contender, Roger Mayweather, dropped the Black Mamba in the first round, earned himself a title shot. I could go on and on talking about who he beat. Santos Cardona. He got the controversial draw with Julio Cesar Chavez, which everybody knows he won. Personally, I think he won against De La Hoya when he finally lost his welterweight championship. But Whitaker was really great at lightweight for me. I mean, by the time he moved up to welterweight, he beat Buddy McGirt, and of course he had the fight with Chavez, and I cannot pronounce Diablos. That was not his name. It was the Cuban. The last successful defense he had before he faced De La Hoya. He was old. Looked, he was losing the fight, came back, knocked him out in the 11th round. Whitaker, by the time you add up the names of the people he beat, Azuma Nelson, Greg Haugen, Julio Cesar Chavez, really should have beat him, Freddie Pendleton. I mean, he was in so many great fights and just lopsided affairs. He was just that much better than everybody else. And whether you realize it or not, we lost one of the greatest fighters that ever lived, in my opinion. I think Pernell Whitaker could have hung with any lightweight who has ever lived. And yes, I'm talking about Roberto Duran. I'm talking about Joe Gans. I'm talking about Benny Leonard. That's how great Pernell Whitaker was. Because when you look past the artistry, there was a gargoyle underneath there. There was a monster ready to eat you up. He just didn't have the power, but he had it up here. He never missed anything. He never blinked. He saw everything that was happening in that ring, and by the time you thought about doing something to him, you'd already made a mistake because he knew it. He was on top of it. So my sincerest, heartfelt condolences out to Pete's family and his closest friends, and I'm in mourning myself. I mean, it hurts to know that he's gone. Because the boxing world, the world is a less place without him in it. But on to the future, or in this coming weekend, Keith Thurman. This is my dog Todd. Stay out of frame, bud. Keith Thurman and Manny Pacquiao. Who's going to win that one? Well, Manny's 40 years old, and I'm gonna tell you something. If I was Thurman's people, I would be worried that Manny was the one that wanted the fight, truthfully, because I mean you're not, the two guys that he does not want in the welterweight division, which were the fights that were not made, were Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford, because their speed kills. And nothing is going to expose a fighter's fading reflexes faster than speed. Now, Thurman's fast, but I mean, let's face it. I mean, Thurman hadn't fought for 2 years up until just a few months back, and he did not look that impressive to me against Danny Garcia. The fight with Porter was a thing of beauty, but at the end of the day, if we're really going to be honest, Thurman is very, very, very good, but he's not great. Manny Pacquiao was great, and like all great fighters, they don't never seem to know when to walk away from the ring. The question, what should happen, Thurman should win. That's what should happen. The question is, can he make Manny Pacquiao retire? I don't think he can. I mean, in order to do that, you would have to totally dominate Pacquiao. You would have to outspeed him. I have no doubt Thurman can be more active than Pacquiao. But the question is whether or not Thurman is going to dare to go in there, because the last thing that leaves a fighter is going to be the power. And Manny is still going to have that. He may not be just like a destroyer with one punch anymore, but he's going to have enough power to keep Thurman honest. And Thurman, I have a feeling, has gotten to that point in his career where he's wanting to play it safe. And you can't play it safe and achieve greatness at the same time. It just doesn't work like that. Now, I do think that he should beat Manny. I will predict him to outpoint Manny, but there's a strange thing that kind of happens when you take a legend all the way to the cards and you don't really dominate him. Sometimes the legend ends up getting the decision. So, we'll see. And I will say this is just my unofficial opinion, Pernell Whitaker would have beat both of them pretty easily. That's how great Pernell Whitaker was. So, for Boxing and Beyond, my name is Kevin Kincaid. I appreciate you tuning in. I'm sorry if I'm a little off. Like I said, I'm still in shock finding out about Whitaker passing away. I'm looking forward to the fight this weekend, though. I do think honestly, I don't think it's going to be a war. Straight up, I think it'll have moments of excitement, but I think it's probably going to be a very tactical battle all the way down the line. It's going to go 12 rounds, I'm pretty sure. That's my prediction. And I think Thurman should get the decision, but it will not surprise me if he loses. If it goes to the 12th round, the final bell, it will not surprise me if Manny Pacquiao ends up getting a split decision victory. I'm just saying. It wouldn't surprise me. I'm not predicting that, but it wouldn't surprise me. For Boxing and Beyond, my name is Kevin Kincaid. Thank you again for tuning in. If you like what you see, hey man, give me the thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate it. Subscribe if you really like it, and share it. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor, and then maybe next time I'll have happier things to talk about. Peace. I'm out of here.